And who would like to read this? Okay. Volunteer.
Would you like me to read, Prabhuji?
Okay.
Om Agyana Timidansya Janakaya Sakalakaya Chakshurunmitamena Tasmai Shigurve Namah. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Nama Om Vishnu Pradaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashyataya Deshatarine. I offer my respectful obeisances unto His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is very dear to Lord Krishna. Having taken shelter at his lotus feet, our respectful obeisances are unto you. O spiritual master, servant of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami, you are kindly preaching the message of uh, Lord Chaitanya Deva and delivering the Western countries which are filled with impersonalism and voidism. Panchatattva. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasani Gaur Bhaktavinda. I offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasani and all others in the line of devotion. Mahamantra. Maha means great and mantra means sacred chant for deliverance. Of all mantras in the Vedas, one is called the Maha Mantra or Great Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The word Hare pronounced as Hare, Krishna pronounced as Krishna, and Rama rhymes with Rama are Sanskrit words. Hare is an address to God's energy known as Radha, and Krishna is the name of God, meaning he who is attracted to everyone. Rama means who gives pleasure and enjoys love. When chanted the Mahamantra as a petition to God, O Krishna, energy of Krishna, please. And I can't read now. I don't know what has happened.
Can you see now?
Okay, I can read now. Mm. O Krishna, O energy of Krishna, please engage me in your service.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Kalyani. Hare Krishna. This is level 2, chapter 4. And who would like to, this is the Lordship Sri 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 Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. We pay respects to them and ask for their blessings and their direction and their help, and so that we can actually come to love the Lord nicely, read the Gita nicely, do our devotional service nicely, and go back to the street. So we like to also chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om
Om
Namo Bhagavate
Namah.
We also take the blessings of His divine grace. A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, without whom we'll probably not have known much about Bhagavad Gita and not known about Krishna. So anyway, it's the mercy of Prabhupada and also the mercy of Prabhupada's guru who told him to go to the Western country. Okay, who would like to read this? Volunteer? Vijay, you want to try?
So shall I read?
Okay.
Okay, sir. Understanding of Gita. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna accepted Krishna as Param Brahma, the Supreme Brahman. Every living being is Brahman, but the Supreme Living Being or Supreme Personality of Godhead is the Supreme Brahman. Param Dhamma means Param Dhamma means that he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. Pavitra means that he is pure, unattained by material contamination. Purusham means that he is the supreme enjoyer. Saswatam, original. Divyam, transcendental. Adidevam, the supreme personality of Godhead. Ajam, the unborn. And the Vibhum, the greatest. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. So when you hear, after hearing from Krishna, Arjuna accepted Krishna as the Supreme Lord. Supreme Brahman means Supreme. Every living being is Brahman. We are all spirit souls. But Krishna is the Supreme Brahman. Okay? So Param Dharma means that he is the supreme rest or abode of everything. That means from him, everything is working. Just imagine if you are in this country, say Malaysia or Australia, and the government doesn't do anything, the whole country will be like in a mess. There will be no nice roads, there will be no nice transportation, everything will be difficult, there will be no people, no government to control the rogues and the demons and the people who are thieves. There'll be no. So how your life? How will this happen? That means you will be in misery, right? Of course, we are still in misery because we still have to go through the stages of birth, death, old age, and disease, and we still have to have the sufferings. We have some enjoyment, but we also have a lot of suffering. So then the best thing is to stop the cycle of birth and death. So that's why the Supreme Lord, from the Supreme Lord, everything is put in place. 3/4 of the living entities are in the spiritual world, and even the spiritual world, the Lord is keeping it in its place. But the difference between the spiritual world and the material world is, this material world is dukhaliyam, meaning there is misery, but Vaikuntha means without misery. So there is the difference. This is a reflection of the original spiritual world. So then we don't want the reflection, we want the real thing, right? So anyway, Krishna is untainted by material contamination. We are. Purusha means he is the supreme, Purusha means he is a supreme enjoyer. We are also enjoyers, but we are not supreme enjoyer, because it's something like we enjoy in the association of the Lord. Okay, Shavasta means he is the original. Divya means he is very transcendental. Who can say that they are very transcendental? We are not 100% transcendental at all. Don't know how many percent. Adi Devam is the original. Ajam, he is unborn. We are also unborn. And Vibhum is the greatest. We are not the greatest. So there's difference between Lord and ourselves. So we accept that because the qualification of the Lord is different. Qualification of us is that we can actually become good servants of Krishna and enjoy with Krishna and be happy also. So this is transcendental knowledge. So the overview of chapter 4. I think this overview we should do at the end, right? First we have to go through with that. Okay, who would like to start off? Volunteer? Jayashree, you want to do?
Okay, sir. I will read it.
You need to, you can manage.
Yes, sir. Shri Bhagavanuvacha imam vivasvate yogam proktavam aham avayavyam vivasa sorry vivasvanmanave praha manur ikshvakave bravit. The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna said, I instructed this imperishable science of yoga to the Godhead, Vivaswan, and Vivaswan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind. And Manu in turn instructed it to Ikshvaku. Thank you.
So Krishna says, I instructed, because when I created the material, I instructed all this supreme science. So at least people in the material world can actually understand. When you put prisoners into the prison, you have to tell them what wrong they do, right? And not to do it in the future. So and how to get out of prison is by being a good prisoner. And when you get out of the prison, you go out into the material world, you be good person. So basically, we are also Krishna has put the material beings into this material world. Say that you are now in this actually prison, but that in the prison there is not so much badness. It's not like we really go to a prison, but this prison is quite nice also because the Krishna has created so many beautiful things. But there is also suffering. Okay, in Japan, there are some people, homeless people, they purposely go to a shopping center and steal things, and they want to be caught, and then they are put in prison. Why? Because they say in the outside world, we got no home, we got no food. At least we go to the prison, we got food, we got home. You just imagine, right? So we are like this people in the Japan prison, and we are homeless. We want to actually be in this prison, but actually, if you are an intelligent person, you will do nice work. You get some nice money. You can have your own place to stay. You don't have to be homeless. So you know the people's mentality is all going upside down. So we should not have that bad mentality. That's why Krishna is giving us all these instructions so that we don't get deluded. Even Arjuna is being instructed, so he don't get deluded that he should not fight and give up and let himself be killed. Don't be a fool. Krishna says, I give you intelligence, use it. Don't be a fool. And I'm giving you enough instructions, so please understand and do the right action, right? Lead a dharmic life. You lead a dharmic life, do your duty, lead a dharmic life. What will happen? You will actually please the Lord. You will also, dharmic life includes doing spiritual reading, chanting. That's part of dharmic. Doing your work nicely. Don't take corruption. Don't cheat. This is all dharmic work. So be a dharmic work and do your spiritual duties and go back to the spiritual work. Who wants to read the second one? It's always nice to read verses. You know why? Because every verse of Gita you read, you get purification. Some sins will go away. So don't be shy to volunteer. But of course, I'm going to give everyone a chance. So everyone, please volunteer. Then we go for second round. Okay? Who would like to do this?
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji,
Go ahead, Mataji.
Ivam parampara praptam imam rajarsaya vidu sahalena mahata yoga nasta parantapa. This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly king understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So as the knowledge was passed down, somewhere along the line, it got broken. Why? Because somewhere along the line there were some bad kings. There were some atheistic king who don't believe in this Lord. So the science was lost. So then actually now Krishna is saying, therefore it is lost. Okay. Who would like to read 4.3 and then read this 4.4? 4.3 from Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Can I read?
Yes.
Text 3. That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend, and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science. Text 4. Arjuna Uvacha Aparam Bhavato Janma Param Janma Vivasvatha Katam Etat Vijaniyam Tvam Adhau Proktavan Iti. Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is senior by birth to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed the science to him? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So Arjuna doesn't know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord yet. He still thinks he is a friend. So he's saying he's doubting. So he wants to find out. Whenever sometimes some spiritual things come to you, you should also doubt. Why? You must don't just accept blindly. You must question and see whether the person is correct or not. You know, so in this way, you should read the scriptures. You should test the person against the scripture. That means don't believe totally whatever the person says. You should be reading the scripture yourself, and then you see whether the person who is telling you something is as per the scripture. So then you won't get cheated, right? So Arjuna is asking that, you know, the sun is there before you were born. Krishna, you're just born only recently. How am I to know that you are the one who instructed the science to him? So this is a question which Arjuna is asking. And this is good because whenever you got some doubt, you should directly confront and ask, why like this, why like that? Don't be shy. No problem. If you ask the question and you don't get an answer which is happy with you, at least you ask. But if you get an answer which you are happy with, at least it's good. You clear your doubt, right? Okay, who would like to read this? Sorry. Who volunteer?
Krishna Kumari here, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you can do on your own or you need guidance.
I will read it.
Okay.
Okay. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Bahuni Me Yavati Tani Viyati tani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvani na tuam veda parantapa. The personality of the Godhead said, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. O subduer of the enemy.
Subduer means
Thank you, Prabhupada.
conqueror of the enemy. So now Krishna is explaining to Arjuna the difference. He says, actually, I'm not this is not my first birth here. It's not that I'm just born recently. I have many, many births. You also have many, many births. And I can remember all of them. So I know how old I am. But you cannot remember them. So you don't know how old you are. You are also very old. But you don't know. You think this is your birth. But it's not. So many, many births. You and I have gone. But I know all of my births because I'm the Supreme Lord. I'm the one who is knowing the past, present, and future. But you don't. Okay, who would like to read 4.6 and 4.7? Who hasn't read yet?
May I?
Yeah.
Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. 4.7 Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijame aham. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Thank you. So Arjuna's question, Krishna is trying to explain. So he says in 4.6, although I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates. So even as Krishna, his body never deteriorates. Even he was he was 125 years in the world, but after 18 years old, he was always looking like 18 years old. So he never became old after that. He had to actually grow from baby to up, but actually his transcendental form is youth form 18 years old. So the baby is actually just a pastime. So in this way, he says that my transcendental form never deteriorates. And although I am the Lord of all living entities, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. So he says that although I am the Lord of everyone, I still do my duty. And I appear in my transcendental form. I appear in this world. And why I appear in this world? Whenever and wherever there's a decline in religious practice, or descendant of Bharata and a predominant rise in irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Krishna is saying, I doing my duty, Arjuna. You must do your duty. Viji, you must do your duty. Kalyani, you must do your duty. All of you must do your duty. I am doing. I don't have to do, but I'm doing. You all have to do because it's the way things supposed to be. Okay, if you don't do, actually what will happen is it will become, you will actually go down and be unhappy. For me, no problem. I don't do also, it's okay, but I still do. Why? Because I love all of you, and I want this whole, I want all of you to be happy, because that gives me pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
When you give, when I make you happy, Krishna says, I get pleasure. And when you love me back, I get pleasure. When I love you, you love me. I am very happy. So this is the pleasure. You know, you like to do things that are pleasurable, right? Something that makes you happy, gives you happiness. So basically, this is the thing actually, that when the soul is happy, you will be happy. So here you see Lord Ram killing Ravan. Here you see Krishna killing Kamsa. He is coming to do his duty. He enjoys doing his duty. You know, Krishna enjoys this pastime. Okay, who would like to read this? Who hasn't read yet? Who hasn't read the Bhagavad Gita verses yet? I'm not talking about the other things. Kalyani, you read already?
No, Prabhuji, but my book is the old version.
Never mind, this is here on the this one.
Oh,
Screen.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I need help, Prabhuji.
Paritranaya
Paritranaya
sadhunam
sadhunam
vinasaya cha
vinasaya cha
duskritam
duskritam
dharma
dharma
samstapanarthaya
samstapanataya
sambhavami
sambhavami
yuge yuge.
yuge yuge, to deliver the pious and to annihilate the discreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Krishna says that this is my duty. I created a material world, and then the spiritual, the living entities which are not wanting to be with me in the spiritual world, I put them in the material world. But then there are some very bad ones. You know, they deteriorate very badly, and they are causing a lot of disturbance. I cannot allow the material world, even though it's a material world and not a very pleasant place, but I still need a system in the place. So if something goes wrong, I have to come down and make it right. So this is my duty. So that's why he said to deliver the pious. There are pious people who are wanting to come back to the spiritual world. So, and to annihilate the miscreant, I have to get rid of these evil-minded people, put them back into the animal kingdom, or you see, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, and to make everyone know that whoever is following the principles of religion will be successful. I cannot allow the demons to overrun the whole situation. I myself appear millennium after millennium. So, you know the story of Nrsimha Dev, right? Everyone
Yes,
know?
Prabhuji.
Who don't know?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, I know you know, but who doesn't know? Everyone knows?
I don't know, Prabhuji.
Okay, you know Lord Nrsimha Dev. So there was this Hiranyakashipu. He was a big demon. He don't believe in God. And he was very angry that Lord Vishnu, as the form of Varaha, he killed his brother. So he said, Lord Vishnu is my enemy. So nobody is supposed to pray to Lord Vishnu anymore. So he told everyone, stop praying to Lord Vishnu because he is a king. And then on top of that, So then he said, but then I still am not powerful. So he did a lot of austerity for 1000 years. He was standing and he was praying to Lord Brahma. So the amazing thing is, these demons sometimes they pray for material things. So they'll go to the devas. They won't go to Krishna. When they go to Krishna, Krishna will give them a big tight slap. But then they go to devas. And the devas are bound. Even though the demons come and pray to them and do a lot of stuff, they are bound to actually give them some benediction. So finally, after 1000 years, Lord Brahma came to him and then he sprinkled water on the Hiranyakashipu because Hiranyakashipu was already 1000 years in austerity. His body was no more, only the bones were there. And the life air was circulating in his bones only. So when he sprinkled water, Hiranyakashipu became whole again. Then he said, okay, what do you want? He said, I want to become immortal. Then the Brahma said, I myself have to die one day. How can I give you immortality? You see, if I am able to be immortal, I can make you immortal. But I'm not able to become immortal. I have to die. My body has to die also. So your body also has to die. So how is it that I can give you? Like if you have $100 and someone asks you for $100 or $50 or $20, you have $100 you can give. Someone you have $100 and people ask you for $1,000. Can you give $1,000? You don't have. You only got 100. So basically, you can only give up to $100 if you really want to give. You understand? So basically, Brahma can only give up to the level of his powers that he himself has. He cannot give more than that. So anyway, when you give the $100, of course, you don't have $100 anymore. But in the Deva's case, when they give the benediction, they still have their own powers, but the benediction is given. So anyway, come back to this. So then he said, okay, you cannot give me immortality. Can you give me other boons? He said, what boons? He said, I don't want to be killed by man or animals. He said, okay, I can give you this grant, this boon. Okay. Then he said, I don't want to be killed in the night or in the day. He said, okay, done. I cannot be killed in the air or on the ground. He said, okay, done. I cannot be killed by any weapons. Okay, done. And then I cannot be killed inside the house or outside the house. Done. I cannot be killed on the air or in the ground. Done. Now, if you got this type of benediction, you are like invisible, right? No one can kill you because you covered everything. So in the end, so then what happened is he went and he was very happy. Meanwhile, while he was doing the austerity, the Devas found that the leader is missing. So they they had a fight against him and they won the fight. So in the end, what happened is they finally, they caught hold of the Hiranyakashipu's wife and they are bringing her. And then Narada Muni happened to be there. He said, what is it you are doing? You cannot hurt women or children. This is the principle, Vedic principle. Vedic principle is if you have a war, you fight with the man and that's it, finish. You kill them or you be killed. But you do not hurt the woman or the children. So this is the situation principles. So then what happened is then they said this lady has a baby inside and it's going to be like the father. Then we are waiting for the baby to get born, then we'll kill the baby and let the lady go. Because we don't want another great demon like Hiranyakashipu. He said, don't worry, this person is going to be a devotee. So you release her, she will stay in my ashram until the husband comes. So then she was staying in the ashram, and also what happened is that he was preaching to her every night about the glories of the Lord. Sometimes the lady, half the time listening, then she fall asleep. But the baby inside was listening fully. So anyway, the baby was born and the husband came back. And then the wife and the boy went back to the father and the husband, the father of the boy and the husband of the lady. They went back. And because he was so powerful now, he defeated the three worlds and he actually conquered the Deva planet. He was so powerful. And then everything he was, then what happened is he told everyone stopped praying to God, Lord Vishnu. Everyone must pray to me. I am the Lord. So anyway, sometimes this happens. So then this son was sent to the school, and then the teachers told the son, you must pray to Hiranyakashipu. He said, no, I only pray to Lord Vishnu. He said, why? He's the Supreme Lord. No, he's not the Supreme Lord. Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Lord. So they brought the son back to the father and said, we cannot teach your son because your son is already being brainwashed into worshipping Vishnu. We don't want to be worshipping you. So you take him back. We cannot teach him. Sorry. So the father was very angry. He told the son, hey, I am your father. Yes, father. You must pray to me. He said, no, father. Why? Because you are not the Lord. I don't pray to you because you are not the Lord. The Lord is Lord Vishnu. Hey, why you want to pray to Lord Vishnu? He is my enemy. He killed my brother. What type of son are you? Better no need to have you, as a son. Better either you pray to me or I'll kill you. He said, no, I cannot be a cheater. I must tell the truth. So anyway, what happened is, he said, okay, then I have no choice but to kill you. So he told his guards to kill him. So they tried to kill him, but the arrows cannot go through. And then he was very shocked. The guards came back and said, we can't kill with our arrows. Okay, get a mad elephant to step on him. So they asked, put him in with the mad elephant, but the mad elephant could not step on him because he was always praying, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam. So how powerful a mantra is this mantra. From this story, you can understand why we chant this mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevayam is to invoke the auspiciousness of the Lord. So then after that, they said, okay, throw him off the cliff. They throw him off the cliff. He was just chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Lord Vishnu came and took him and put him down. Then after that, the father was very angry. He said, okay, he told his sister, bring this boy into the fire. The sister's name is Polika. So then the sister took the boy and they light the fire and she went inside. And then this boy was just chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In the end, the sister got burned and the boy came out alive. Actually, the sister had a special power from a holy man whom she pleased. And he gave her the boon that you will never be burned by the fire. But he also told her that you must not use this boon for a wrong purpose. So in this way, she was using it for a wrong purpose. Because she used it in the wrong purpose, instead of not, so the power to not being able to burn did not apply to her. In the end, she got burned. And then when the boy came out, everyone in the kingdom was very happy. So they celebrated the holy festival. If you don't know about the holy festival, you can Google. In North India, it's very popular. On that day, they will go out and they will throw colors at each other. Anyway, it's a celebration. They were all very happy that the Prahlad was saved and the mother, the sister of Hiranyakashipu died. And then the king was very upset, Hiranyakashipu. He said, okay, take this cup of poison and drink it. So then he took and he offered it to Krishna first, Lord Vishnu. And then he drank it and nothing happened to him. And then this Hiranyakashipu was so upset. He said, where you get the power from? He said, I'm getting the power from the same source that you are getting your power. You think you are powerful, but the power that you have is also coming from the Lord. He said, what? Where is the Lord? He says, everywhere. Okay, is he in this pillar? Yes. So he took his sword and he banged the pillar. And out came this fierce half man, half tiger. And then there was a big fight. And finally, the Lord killed him. But then he had a special power. You cannot be killed on the air or on the ground. What the Lord did, he put him on his lap. So he was neither on the air nor ground. And then you cannot be killed by any weapon. The Lord took nails and killed him. You know, and then you cannot be killed by man or animal. This was neither man nor animal. And then you cannot be killed in the day or night. It was evening, so it was neither day nor night. You cannot be killed. What is the other one? You cannot be killed indoors or outdoors. He killed him at the door, the door of the place. So it's neither inside nor outside. So in this way, the Lord, you think you're very clever, you can be very clever and defeat death, but the Lord is cleverer than you. He can come in position. So anyway, Lord Nrsimhadev is a protector of devotees. That's why we do prayers, Namaste Nrsimhadev, for the protection, So anyway, the Lord is the special protector. So that's it, the pastime of he coming to protect devotees. One of the pastimes. So to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreant and to establish the principles of religion, I appear. Okay. Okay, who would like to read this? Who hasn't read the Sanskrit yet? Manju?
Yes, Prabhuji. You Janma Karma Jame
Louder, please.
Devyam. Sorry?
Louder, can't hear you.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes. Sorry. Janma Karma Jame Divyam Evam Yo Yeti Veti Tatvaha Tatva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mamiti Sa Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my material abode, O Arjuna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Namaskar.
So the one who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, that means if you are Krishna conscious, you understand the Lord is the Supreme Lord, and that why the supremeness of the Lord and the place, his spiritual place, what's so good about it, and how to actually please him, how to go back to the spiritual world. So once you know the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities, Krishna came to this world also to actually make us attracted to him, so that we can be attracted and want to go back and be with him. That is one of the reasons that he came to this world, to show that he is the Lord and there is the Lord. Otherwise, you may think whether there is a Lord or not. He's showing there is a Lord, and he's showing how wonderful he is, and he's giving us all the instructions. So in this way, we will excuse me, we will know his transcendental nature, and we'll be always thinking of him, and at the time of death, we will leave this material world, not take birth, and go back to the spiritual. This is the ultimate goal of life. What else you want in this world? You don't want to come back to people. You want to come back to the. Okay, who hasn't read verses yet? Everyone read?
I haven't read, Prabhu.
Okay, you read. You need help or you can read?
I can read.
Yes.
Oh. Vitaragapaya krodha manmaya mam upasritaha bhavo jnana tapasya putta madbhavam agataha. Being freed from attachment, fear, anger, being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past became purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attained transcendental love of me.
So idea is to attain transcendental love for him. If you don't get love for Krishna, you can't go to the spiritual world, because if you don't have love, you can't fit in there. Everyone is having love for Krishna. If you don't have love for Krishna, you can't go. It's not because you are like, let's say, a fish out of the water, right? So basically, you must be the same. So if you are free from attachment to the material world, you fear and anger. Fear, you also must be free from. You don't fear death, and you don't have anger, and these three things, attachment is lust, fear and anger, these three things. Being fully absorbed in me and taking refuge in me. You're always thinking of me, you're always depending on me, you're always fully confident in my mercy. That's how you don't get fear. And then you're absorbed in me, you don't get attachment. And because you take refuge in me, you don't get angry. Many persons in the past become purified by knowledge. Because of these nice activities that you are trying to inculcate, you will get purified and you will get knowledge of me. And you will get transcendental love of me. All right? So in this way, what happens is you will go back to the spiritual world. Okay, these are the progressive steps of attachment to devotional service. First, you must have faith. Then you have sadhu sangha, means association with devotees. You want to become advanced in devotional service, you must have faith. You must have association with devotees, because these devotees are the ones also, when you go back spiritual world, all are devotees of Krishna. So you must have friends with devotees. Otherwise, you cannot be friends there. How are you going to get friends if you don't have friends now? Performance of devotional service. This also we have to do in the spiritual world. And then decreasing of unwanted attachment. That means whatever is sinful, you give up. Huh? And then steadiness. You must be faith in your devotional service. Even in trouble, you are still steady. Even if something not good happens to you, still you have faith and steady. This is a test. Then you will get taste also. You will get a taste for spiritual life. And then you get attachment to spiritual life. And you will get love for the Lord. And then you get pure love. When you get love, sometimes you have some materially little bit mixed. But when after that you have pure love, that means you just want to please Krishna without thinking of anything in return. That's how you go back to the spiritual world. Okay, 4:11, 4:12, and 4:13. Who volunteer? I think everyone has done one round, right? Tana, have you done?
Yes, Prabhuji, I've done it. Do you want me to do it?
4:11, 4:12, and 4:13.
Can. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pratap. Text 4.12. Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world. 4.13. According to the three modes of
So you
material
have to read
nature.
the Sanskrit, Mataji. It's on the board.
Okay. Chaturvanyam maya swatam guna karma vibhagasa tasya kartaram abhimam vidhi akartaram avyayam. According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, the four divisions of human society are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable. Thank you.
So Krishna says, as much as you surrender unto me, I will also give you the reward accordingly. And everyone is actually surrendering unto me, but some are surrendering very less, some are not surrendering at all. So according to how much they are surrendering, I am also giving them the benefit and the help basically. And in 4.12, Krishna says, man in this world, normally they desire material success. And because they desire material success, they'll prefer to worship the devas because the devas can give you material success. Krishna won't. Just like Hiranyakashipu, he did not worship Krishna. He worshipped Brahma because he wanted material success. If he has asked for Krishna, Krishna has given him a thigh slap. So anyway, because it's good for him, even though he's a demon, Krishna is the father of everyone. He's even the father of the Hiranyakashipu. So he will give you a thigh slap. You are doing nonsense. And so, of course, man get results from fruitive work. You worship the devas, you will get what you are praying for. Whether it's good for you or not, it will still be given to you. So in this way, only Lord Krishna, which is not good for you, he will say, no, I cannot give you this. If I give you this, what happens is you will misuse this, and you will be spiritually, you go down. So Krishna won't give you something that makes you spiritually down. He always wants you to go up. So Krishna also says that, there are three modes of material nature. What are the three modes? Anyone can tell me?
Sattvas, Rajas, and Tamas.
Yes, very good. And so he said there are three people, the people in the most of material nature. And I also, there are four divisions of people. People who like to do spiritual things will become Brahmanas. People who like to be ruling class will become Kshatriyas. People who like to do business will become Vaishyas. People who like to work for others will become Sudras. And this is just the type of people. It doesn't mean that you are born into it. When you are born, you have the ability to do certain things. You will do that. So the caste system is totally misused in India. That you are born a Brahmin, you are a Brahmin. It's all nonsense. Krishna is telling very clearly in Bhagavad Gita that this is not the way that I intended it to do. People go and misuse it and they put themselves as a higher authority, so this is wrong. And Krishna said, even though I create this system, some people like their mood. They like to work for others, they like to do their own business, they like to be brahmanas, they like to learn the scripture, they like to do puja, they like to go and do naming ceremonies, they like to read the horoscope. All these are brahmanas' work. And the brahmanas' work is also to teach others about God. If you are a brahmana and you are not teaching others about God, you are a failure. So this is one of the things. So in a way, all of us can become Brahminical also. We can teach others about God. We are doing one of the duties of the Brahmana. We may not be doing all the duties, but in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says at the end of chapter 18, he says, I want all of you to become preachers of Bhagavad Gita. Whether the Brahmanas are doing this or not, if they are not doing, they are doing wrong. But I want every one of you to become a preacher also. So in this way, all of you, after you learn this Bhagavad Gita, please also help others. You know, you get help, you also must help. The more you help others to get knowledge of Gita, the more you will understand the Gita. This is a secret. You will improve yourself. So you should know I am the non-doer being unchangeable. Krishna says, I set up the whole system, but I am not the one who is doing. All the devas are put in charge to run the universe. Okay, who would like to read this? Who hasn't read second time? Krishna Kumari?
Prabhuji, I will read. Namam karmani lipanti name karma pale spirha iti mam yo pijanati karma birnasa badyate. There is no work that affect me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the entangled in the fruitive reaction of a work.
So Krishna says that actually I am the one who is running the whole thing, but I do not want the results. The results will be if you love me or you don't love me, that is up to you. I'm not saying you must love me. I'm hankering for your love. No. Krishna says, I'm helping you. You want to love me or don't love me, that is your wish. I'm just doing my duty to make you understand that if you want to come back to the spiritual world, the only way is to actually be in love with me, and I'm also will be I will also love you back, and you will become very happy with that. So the idea is that I also don't ask for the fruit of action. He's telling Arjuna, you fight without fruit of action. See how subtle Krishna is. He is penetrating the subtle consciousness of Arjuna. You can tell you. So he's also penetrating our subtle consciousness. You see, these words he's telling is, he's saying, nor do I aspire for the true action. So he's also indirectly telling you also should not do. You understand? One who understands this truth about me also do not become entangled in the fruitive reaction of the word. So one of the things is don't get entangled in the fruitive reaction of it. You see this man here, he is in jail. Then he's supposing he's a little bit not intelligent. So when you come and visit him, he thinks you are in jail also, because he sees the bar is between the two of you. In fact, actually he's in jail and you are not, example, right? But he is a bit not intelligent. A king visits a jail. This is a jailman, and the king went to see the jail fellow, and then the jail fellow said, oh, I see you are in jail also. Actually, the king is not in jail. He is outside, he has elephants, he has a palace, and he has a nice chair to sit on. For 15, 16, 17, 18. Parimala, you want to do? Hare Krishna. Parimala, are you there? Kavita, you want to do?
Okay, Prabhu. I will.
15, 16, 17, and 18.
Okay. 15. All the liberated soul in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following their footsteps. 16. Even the intelligence are bewildered in determining what is action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what is action, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune. 17. The intricacies of actions are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is.
And here you have to read the
Um,
sentence.
huh?
You have to read 418.
418 in the text. Karmani akarma ya pasyet akarmani cha karmaya sa buddhiman manusyesu sayuktaha krishna karmakat. One who sees inaction in action and action in action is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sort of activities.
Yeah. So basically, 416. What is Krishna saying in 416? Sorry, 415. He said, people who are liberated, who have become liberated, acted with this understanding and they became liberated. And when you become liberated, you go back to spiritual world. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps. First, Krishna says, follow my style. And then you also do that. Remember the verse before. And now he's saying, even the others also are doing this. Then even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what action is and what inaction is. What is correct action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you should be liberated from all misfortune. Even the people also thinking what really I'm supposed to do, what really I'm not supposed to do. You know? And I'm going to explain to you, once you understand this, you will know and you will become liberated from all misfortune, unhappiness. And this is what he's saying. One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. So basically, I'm asking you something. Like Arjuna is supposed to fight. And if he fights, he's actually not getting karma. So in this way, inaction means not getting karma in doing the action. And action in inaction meaning by not fighting, he is getting the karma, bad karma. You understand, huh? So if you can understand that if you do something, which you don't get karma in the action that you do, and the other action that you do, you get karma. So which one is inaction meaning that if you are fighting and killing, you don't get karma because you're acting according to your dharma. The dharma is to be fight and to defend the righteous. And if you don't fight, that is also an action. But what will happen is you are doing bad karma. You are doing wrong action. So you will get sins. And because you did not fight, you will get sin, you will have to suffer in your next life. Or maybe this life also. Both next life and this life. If you can understand this, you are intelligent among men and is in the transcendental position. That means you can understand the truth, what is correct and what is not, although engaged in all sorts of activities. You understand? So like the knife, Krishna is the one who is actually killing everyone. He's using you as the instrument. You let yourself be used as the instrument and just in the end you are actually not getting karma. But you don't let yourself be used as an instrument of the Lord, you will get karma. So basically, this is the situation that you must understand. So anyway, I won't go into all this. I already explained. Okay, 419, 420, 421. Who would like to volunteer? Second time, who hasn't read?
19.
Who wants to volunteer?
Benoit,
Yeah.
19. One is understood to be in full knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. 20. Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings. 21. Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus working, he is not affected by sinful reactions.
Thank you, Madam.
22. He who is satisfied with gain.
3 only. Very good.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Prabhu.
So, 418, you see, remember chapter 3, Karma Yoga. What Krishna says in chapter 3, give up all attachment for the results. So Krishna is not explaining further what he said in chapter 3. He said, sorry, 419. One is understood in full knowledge if you don't have desire for sense gratification. That means you're doing your work as per your dharma, and you are doing your duty in spiritual life as per dharma. So you are not desiring for wanting unnecessarily lot of money, unnecessarily lot of possessions, unnecessarily a lot of other things, you know. So if you have this satisfaction of whatever is coming your way, you understand? Just do your duty, whatever you get is okay. He said by sages to be a worker by whom the reaction of work has been burned up by the fire of perfect knowledge. That means all this will give you a karma action. You won't get any reaction from doing this type of work, because you don't not whatever you get. So you will be satisfied, you will have, and you will have your time to do your spiritual life. You will not over endeavor for material thing, and then in the end you forget your spiritual life and your spiritual action, things to do. So for 12:20, you say, abandoning all attachment for the results of work. If you really want to be happy, you have to abandon for the result of the work. You just do your duty. You are always satisfied and independent, meaning you don't like think that someone is very important to you. You must do something for him and get money from him. No, you cannot think like that. You do your duty and do the best, and whatever it comes. You perform no fruitive action. That means you don't get karmic action. You don't have a desire, you don't have lust and you won't have the anger. Although you are engaged in all kinds of understanding, even you are going to school, you must do your best. That's it. You must not be like, I must get it. I will cheat also. And then they will cheat. They will have some paper there and they'll look at the thing. This is wrong. All this wrong. You must be honest. Right? So in this way, whatever you are able to get, you get. That's it. Don't worry about things so much. So Krishna says in 421, such a man of understanding, act with the mind and intelligence perfectly controlled. If you cannot have your mind and intelligence control, you cannot have peace, you cannot have happiness. You will give up all sense of proprietorship over the possession. You will understand that everything belongs to Krishna. Krishna is giving it to you for use, and acts only with the bare necessities of life. That means you are willing to live with little bit. If Krishna gives you little, you are willing to live. But if Krishna gives you more, okay. So this is what it means. Not that you must only use little bit. But if Krishna gives you a big house, a lot of money, use it for making a nice house and also for doing some charity, some donations, some Krishna conscious activity, preaching. Use that money. Thus, working is not affected by sinful action. So even though you are working, when you work, you have to work for somebody, you get some money, and your salary you're working for, you must purify it by using some of your money for spiritual purpose. You understand? And the spiritual purpose can be you're buying vegetables to offer to the Lord. Spiritual purpose can be you're building a nice house so you can put a nice altar. That is also spiritual. And spiritual purpose can be I want to be able to buy some books and donate to some of my friends who are not buying and get them to read the Bhagavad Gita. That is, you have to purify the money that you are getting. You use some percentage of it. How much percentage is up to you? How much you can give out is up to you. Because you don't be too greedy and don't give much. Don't be stingy. You must also be correct line. Okay, 23, 20, wait, huh? 22, 23, 24. Volunteer. Are you back? Who hasn't read second time, please volunteer.
Would you like me to read, Prabhu?
Yeah, okay. You read one time only, right? Yeah. Okay.
The work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in the transcendental knowledge.
22.
Oh, 22. I'm reading 23. Okay. He who is satisfied with gain, which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled although performing actions. The work of a man who is unattached in the modes of material nature and who is fully situated in transcendental knowledge merges entirely into transcendence. Brahmatmanam Brahmai Havir Brahmagnam Brahmatam Brahmaivatina Gandevayam Brahma Karma Samadhina. A person
Slowly.
okay.
Again, slowly.
A person who is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activities, in which the consummation is absolute, and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So 421. So if you act with man of understanding, act with mind and intelligence, perfectly control, giving up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, right? We read that. So whatever you are satisfied with gain, which come from his own accord, whatever you get, you are satisfied. You don't worry about other people getting more or what. Whatever is in your karma and your luck, you are happy with. And you're free from duality. You're not worried about I must get, I don't get, and all this. Who is steady in both success and failure. You must understand sometimes failure comes to you for you to learn. There is a lesson to be learned. Only you get success, you may not learn certain things you need to learn. So when you get success, it's okay. When you get failure, also is something for you to learn from. So you should learn. And you are never entangled although performing action. So in this way, you do your duty. Arjuna, you fight, you will not get entangled. Don't worry. And 23, the work of a man who is unattached to the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, you are not attached to it. That means even you giving charity, you should not be attached that I am very good man, I am doing charity. That comes a pride. Now you say this money it belongs to Krishna, I'm giving charity. Example, Krishna is giving me, so I'm giving to somebody. It's actually Krishna giving, but I am just an instrument. Okay, unattached to the modes of material nature, fully situated in transcendental knowledge, understanding that everything is in Krishna's hand, everything belongs to Krishna, and working for Krishna is the best occupation in the world. Merges entirely into transcendence. That means his soul is in correct level with the level of the Lord. That means he is in correct, situated correctly. So then this word, who is fully absorbed in Krishna conscious, is sure to attain the spiritual kingdom because of his full contribution to spiritual activity, in which the consummation is absolute. So, and that which is offered is of the same spiritual nature. So in this way, you are totally Krishna conscious. You are doing whatever maximum you can for Krishna you are doing, and you are living a dharmic life and a good life and a person who is God conscious. Okay, 25, 26, 27. Who would like to read? Sana, you want to read?
Can Prabhuji. Text 4.25. Some yogis perfectly worship the demigods by offering different sacrifices to them, and some of them offer sacrifices in the fire of the Supreme Brahman. Text 4.26. Some, the unadulterated brahmacharis, sacrifice the hearing process and the senses in the fire of mental control, and others, the regulated householders, sacrifice the objects of the senses in the fire of the senses. 427 also, right?
Yes.
Others who are interested in achieving self-realization through control of the mind and senses offer the functions of all the senses and of all the life breathed as oblations into the fire of the controlled mind.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
I'm saying that as per the different ashrams you are, you accordingly you sacrifice, do your sacrifice. Like example, uh, some yogis, they worship the devas. They are a little materialistic. So they are offering different sacrifice. And and then after that, actually what they are doing is they are offering to the Supreme Lord. And after the offer to the Supreme Lord, the devas get satisfied. So they actually want to please the devas, but they understand that the Lord is the Supreme, so they worship the Supreme Lord, and the devas get their share of the what you call sacrifice. Okay, so it's a different, it's a process. Some people are not able to become very much fully pure yet, so they start this way. And then some of them, if you are brahmachari, you hear a lot, and concentrate on the hearing. And then those who are married people, they control themselves, like you cannot have sex out of marriage. This is one of the control senses. You must be a good householder, do your duty as a husband or wife, and the children, raise them up nicely. So this is also sacrifice. Then there are others achieving in 27 self-realization through control of mind. These type of people like to control their mind and senses and all, and don't want to be attached to anything material. And so this has a different style of doing, of coming to the purification process of Krishna consciousness. Okay, who would like to read?
Prabhuji, okay, if let's say, just now you said regarding the sex within the husband and wife, within the husband and wife, it's mean controlness, it's mean how to control it.
I mean, they cannot have sex with other people, outside of marriage.
Other, it's mean husband and wife can having that.
Yeah, only husband, wife. You can husband cannot have sex with other ladies. Wife cannot have sex with other men.
But it doesn't mean karma, is it? Husband and wife.
No, it doesn't.
Okay,
you have to have a husband, wife. Now how are you going to have children?
Okay.
Yeah?
Thanks.
That means you regulate. You cannot have like free sex. Like sometimes in Western countries they will sleep around. You're not supposed to do that. Supposed to get married, then have, and then you can only have sex in your marriage life. You cannot have sex outside your marriage life.
Okay, can understand, Prabhuji.
Okay, who would like to read? Where were we? Okay, 28, 29, 30. Krishna Kumari, you want to read?
4.34.
No, 4.28, 4.29, 4.30 from the Bhagavad Gita.
4.28 until
3 verses.
33.
No.
Oh, 3 verses only. Okay. Just English or what, Prabhuji?
Yes.
English, to text 28, 4.28, having accepted strict vows, some become enlightened by sacrificing their possession, and others by performing severe authorities, by practicing the yoga of eightfold mysticism, or by studying the Vedas to advance in the transcendental knowledge. Transcendental knowledge.
Yeah, correct.
Sorry. 4.29. Still others who are inclined to the process of a breath, retrain to remain in trance, practice by offering the movement of outgoing breath into the incoming and the incoming breath into the outgoing, and this at last remain in trance, stopping all breathing. Others, curtailing the eating process, offer the outgoing breath into itself as a sacrifice. 2029 and 4.30. All these performers who know the meaning of a sacrifice become a cleanse of sinful reaction, and having tested the nectar of the result of the sacrifices, they advance toward the supreme eternal atmosphere.
Okay. So all these processes actually are what yogis do. So I don't recommend you to do, just at least you know that it is possible to start purifying yourself doing this way. But it's not practical, especially in Kali Yuga, to do all this. You know, to come to that level, it's not practical. It's very hard. It's not it's quite impossible to be successful. Okay, who would like to read 4, 20, 31, 32, 33, and 34? Volunteer.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Okay.
Okay. 31. O best of the Kuru dynasty, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in this life. What then of the next? 32. All these different types of sacrifice are approved by the Vedas, and all of them are born of different types of work. Knowing them as such, you will become liberated. 33. O chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than the mere sacrifice of material possession. After all, O son of Pritha, all sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge. 34. Okay. Tat vidi paranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninastatvadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
So now Krishna is speaking. All these different types of sacrifice are approved by the Vedas. Because without doing this sacrifice, you can never be happy. You cannot be happy without doing any sacrifice. You cannot be happy without sacrificing your time for raising up your children. Example, you cannot be happy by not doing your duty to your wife or husband. If supposing the husband tells the wife, wife, I love you so much. Okay, very good. Go out and earn money and bring back. No, wife, I love you so much. I got no time to go out. I just want to be here and love you. That's all. Is this actually correct sacrifice? Of course not. This is not real love. Real love means I want to go and make some money so I can bring back the money, and also so that we can have a good Krishna conscious life, and so that we can be happy. Right? Otherwise, how? Your wife will say, what type of husband I got? You want to earn, he just want to be with me. Example, also the wife said, I love you so much, husband. Okay, can you cook the food? No, I love you too much. I cannot cook. You go and cook. Okay, how can you clean the house? I love you too much. I just want to see you and love you. You go and clean the house also. So you see, that is not love. The love means you try and make the other person happy. So in this way, all the sacrifice have to be done. It's not that you just get it like that. So all these type of approved in the Vedas, and you must always understand it should be approved in the scriptures. You know, not do something which is not approved. And different types of work, knowing which you should become liberated. You don't have to actually follow some of the things that they are saying, but at least you know what that everyone is, all these are bona fide. Some of the ways can't be done. So you can't do it means it's okay, because there's other ways that you can do. All right. And then here you say, just try and learn the truth. At least learn the scriptures from a spiritual master or from Bhagavad Gita through a person who can guide you. He's like a spiritual master to you also. You know, a spiritual master is a person, a guru is a person that guides you. You may have many gurus, but finally when you take initiation, you take from one guru. Okay? So, and inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. In the way that when you are taking an initiation from a spiritual master, sometimes you have doubts, you bring your doubts to him, and whatever he say, you should follow. So this type of self-realized soul can impart. That means you must take a spiritual master who is very much on a very high level. You don't take me as your spiritual master, because I'm not that high level. Example, huh? So because they have Krishna, they always have Krishna in their heart, and they always understand Krishna. They have very pure love of Krishna, so they can actually give you. Just like Hiranyakashipu, he cannot get immortality. But a pure devotee who has reached the prema stage of Krishna, he can give you love of Krishna. Example. Here is Sanatan Goswami. He was actually a very big minister with the king of Bengal. He left everything and he came to Mahaprabhu and said, I want to surrender unto me and serve you. I don't want all this. So his is an extreme case, example. No? He totally don't want. So he's a pure devotee. Sanatan Goswami is a pure devotee also. This type of pure devotee to get. So who would like to read this? Actually,
Yes, sir. I will read it. Yaj gnatva na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava yena bhutani ase sani draksyasi atmani atomai. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into illusion. For by this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine. Thank you.
so you understand that every living entity is part and parcel of the Lord, and that Krishna is the Paramatma in everyone's heart. You really understand spiritual life. Okay? And you are part also of you are the Atma is also belongs to the Supreme God. Okay, who would like to read this? Volunteer?
You want me to read, Prabhuji? Apichet asi papebhya sarvebhya papa kritama sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijnam santarisyasi. Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries.
Yeah, even if you are a very bad person, but when you stop your sinful activities and you come to the boat of transcendental knowledge, you can change and you can actually go back to the spiritual world. Krishna saying, anybody can come back to me. It's not a problem, but you have to change. You have to stop. Okay? Okay, who would like to read this?
I read, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Can you please guide me?
Okay. Shradhaval
Radhawa
Labate Jana
labate jnanam
Tatpara
tatpara
samyatendriya
samyatendriya
jnanam labhya
jnanam labdva
param santim
param santim
Ashirenadi
asirenadi
gachati.
gajati. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge. And having achieved it, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. Thank you,
Must be
Prabhuji.
faithful to spiritual life. You cannot be, okay, when it's suitable for you, you do, not suitable for you, don't do. We have faith. When good things happen to you, you are very enthusiastic. When the bad things happen to you, you start doubting. No, cannot. You must all the time be faithful and understand even bad things happen to you. You have to something Krishna is wanting you to learn from it. So learn. There's nothing wrong, you know. And so you subdue your senses. That means use your senses in the correct way. Don't do sinful activities. Eligible to achieve such knowledge. When you can do this, you can control your senses. Your mind can control senses, and the intelligence can control the mind. Then you are eligible to attain knowledge. And once you get it, you quickly can get the Supreme Lord, Supreme Peace. That's all it is. That's what. I think that was the end. Any more verses? That's all. Okay. 40, 41, 42. Who would like to read the last three? Last chance. Come. Anyone can do.
What?
Do. 40, 41, 42.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, can.
Okay. Just the English text.
English. Because time running out. Anyway, we always do English.
But ignorant and faithless
Louder, please.
persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do
Louder.
not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there's happiness neither in this world nor in the next.
Mataji, louder,
41.
please.
One who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his action, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he is not bound by the reaction of work or conqueror of riches. 42. Therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight.
Thank you. So, by the ignorant and faithless person who doubt the revealed scripture do not get Krishna. They fall down. They're thinking whether this is really true or not, whether it's fiction or this. For doubting soul, there is neither happiness in the world nor next. If you at least you do spiritual things, you become happy in this world and the next world also. But if you are not doubting this world also, you won't get real happiness. You get materialistic happiness, which is temporary and it's not really going to make you happy. Because the more materialistic things you are doing, the more you want to do more and more. In the end, you don't get any happiness. So then 41, if you act in devotional service and you don't think of the fruits of action and your doubts have been destroyed, that means you have full faith. It's situated in the Atma, self. Thus, you're not bound by karma work. And last verse, he says, therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed. Take the sword and cut the unwanted weeds. You know, these are actually unwanted plants. Cut it. armed with yoga, Bharata, stand up and fight. You should do your action. So this means transcendental. You must have transcendental knowledge to do transcendental things. To do the transcendental knowledge, how are you going to do transcendental things? You're not able to do it. Okay? Okay. Any questions?